Continuing with the unit number 3, that is inheritance. In today's session, we are going to cover the remaining types of inheritance. That is, first is hybrid inheritance we are going to cover, and then we are going to cover hierarchical inheritance. So let's start with the hybrid inheritance. What is hybrid inheritance? The inheritance in which the derivation of the class involves more than one form of any inheritance is called hybrid inheritance. As the name suggests, it's a hybrid inheritance. Hybrid means combination of one or more things. So what is hybrid inheritance is? The inheritance in which the derivation of class involves more than one form of any inheritance is called hybrid inheritance. Basically, C++ hybrid inheritance is a combination of two or more types of inheritance. It is hybrid inheritance is nothing but the combination of two or more types of inheritance. Keep in mind. It is also called as multi-path inheritance. Okay, this is also called as multi-path inheritance. The both are same hybrid inheritance. It is also called as multi-path inheritance. So this is the diagrammatic representation of hybrid inheritance. This is your class A. You have created class B from class A. And then you have created class D from class B and class C. So here it is in this diagram, there are two types of inheritance. This is the single inheritance and this is the multiple inheritance. So that's why it is called as hybrid inheritance. It is called as hybrid inheritance. Keep in mind, hybrid inheritance is nothing but combination of one or more types of inheritance. In this example, this is the combination. This is the first single inheritance and this is multiple inheritance. You can have any combination of different types of inheritance. So here it is the class student. From this we have derived the class exam. This is our class student and we have derived the class exam. And from this we have derived the class result. This is the type of multi-level inheritance. This is the type of multi-level inheritance. In the same inheritance, you have created result from the project class, and this is the type of multiple inheritance. This is the type of multiple inheritance. So this scenario will consist combination of two inheritance types. First one is multiple inheritance and first one is multi-level inheritance and next one is multiple inheritance. That's why it is called as hybrid inheritance. That's why it is called as hybrid inheritance. Next, take another example. This is the class grandfather. From this, you have created the class father. This is the class grandfather, and you have created the class father. And from this father, you have created the class son. From this father, you have created the class son. Again, you have created the class daughter from the father. So this type of inheritance is called as single inheritance. This type of inheritance is called as single inheritance, and this type of inheritance is called as hierarchical inheritance. This is called as hierarchical inheritance. Again, this diagram will consist two types of inheritance. First one is single inheritance, next one is called as hierarchical inheritance. That's why you can call this inheritance as a hybrid inheritance. You can call it as a hybrid inheritance. Now, what is the syntax for the hybrid inheritance? So this is the syntax for the hybrid inheritance. This is the class A. This is the class B. You have created the class B from class A. You have created the class B from class A. Next, this is your class C. You have created class B from class A. This is your class C. You have created the class D from class B and class C. So this is your single inheritance and this is your multiple inheritance. Okay, suppose this is your class A. You have created the class B from A, and this is your C class, and this is your D class. This D class is created from the B class and C class. So this is the single inheritance and this is the multiple inheritance. By looking at this syntax, you should understand diagrammatically how your inheritance is. So this inheritance is similar to these types of inheritance. You should have this image in your mind so that you will get the clear idea about this inheritance and you can automatically write the logic as per requirement of the problem statement properly. So you need to imagine what would be the diagrammatic representation of this code. So this is the syntax for the inheritance. This is the syntax for the hybrid inheritance. It depends on the different types of inheritance, types of combination of inheritance. You can understand now it. Now I will demonstrate this so that you will get how to code it. This is the code which will demonstrate the hybrid inheritance, inheritance. Just see, this is the class student. From this class, we have created the marks class, and this is our student. This is our class sports, and this is the result class, which is created from the class marks and sports. Marks sports. So you can understand this is the single inheritance. You have created this. This is the single inheritance. Whereas this is the multiple inheritance. This result class is derived from the class marks and the class sports. So multiple inheritance. Now just see the code present in each class so that you will get the idea how they have written the logic. So in the student class, there is two fields, ID and name, and by using get stud function, they have taken the ID and name from the user, and this code is written inside the class stud, that is student. Next is marks class. In the marks, these are the protected members, integer m, p, c. These are the variables. In the public, by using the getMarks method, they have taken the marks of 3 subjects. Marks of 3 subjects. So this is a simple code of the marks class. Next is sports. In the sports, in the protected area, sports marks is taken from the user by using this getSports method. And what is done inside the result is everything is present inside the marks and sports class. So just we have derived class result from the marks and sports. So in this, these are the total and average variables, and in the show method we have done total of the 3 subjects marks and then average of all these 3 subjects, and then we have shown total and average, and we have shown addition of average plus sports marks on the terminal. So this is the code present in the result class. Now in the main, just see the code what we have created. We have created the object of result. Though we have 3 classes, we have created only the object of result R. And with the help of this result R, we have taken the student information, we have taken the 3 subject marks, and then we have taken the marks of sports. And at the end, we have shown all these things on the terminal. Just see the output of the code. So this is the output of the code. It will ask you for enter the student ID and name. Suppose student ID is 12. Name of the student is suppose Sachin. Then you have to enter the marks of 3 subjects. Suppose 58, 96, and suppose 63 marks are there for the 3 subjects. And then you have to give the marks of the sports for the student Sachin. Suppose you are given the mark 78. And just see, it will show you the total marks, then average of all these 3 courses, and then it will show the average plus sports marks is equal to 150.33. So this is the output of the code. And what we have done here, we have reused the student class, marks class, and sports class into the result. So everything is present already. We have created another class. We have derived another class, that is result, and just we have made use of all the variables and methods present in the super class to complete our objective, that is to display the total, average, and average plus sports marks. So again I am repeating in brief. This is our class student. From this we have created the class marks, and from sports we have created the class result. This result class is created from marks and sports. Everything is already present over here. We have just reused this into the result class, and in the main we have called the appropriate method using the object of result R, and then at the end we have shown the output on the terminal. So this is how you can achieve hybrid inheritance. You can achieve with the combination of 2 or more types of inheritance, and as per the problem statement you can do the coding. Here it is the simple code that they have written that demonstrate the hybrid inheritance. As per the problem statement, you have to make inheritance, and you have to write the appropriate classes with appropriate behavior of that class, and then you have to reuse it into the another class. So moving forward, next is hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance is a kind of inheritance where more than one class is inherited from a single parent or base class. What is this hierarchical inheritance? It is one kind of inheritance where more than one class is inherited from a single parent or base class. Especially those features which are common in the parent class is also common to the base class. We will learn this with the help of a diagram. When more than one classes are derived from a single base class, such inheritance is known as hierarchical inheritance. When more than one classes are derived from a single base class, such inheritance is known as hierarchical inheritance. Where features that are common in lower level are included in parent class. Problems where hierarchy has to be maintained can be solved easily using this type of inheritance. In some problem statement, you need to maintain the hierarchy of the classes. You can resolve this by using this type of inheritance. For example, civil, computer, mechanical, electrical are derived from the class engineer. These are types of engineer. So you can derive all these classes from the engineer class. Take another example. Natural language, programming languages are derived from the language. With the help of language class, you can derive natural language and programming language classes. So this is the diagrammatic representation of hierarchical inheritance. This is your base class. From this base class, you have created the child class. From this base class, you have created the child class, and this is your child class 1. Again, you have derived another child class 2 from the base class. This was second class. Then again, you have derived another class, child class, from the base class, that is child class 3. And this is called as hierarchical inheritance, which will maintain the hierarchy. That's why it is called as hierarchical inheritance. In hierarchical inheritance, you will have one base class, and then there are many subclasses. Take another example. This is the class vehicle. This is the class vehicle. From this class, you have created the class bus. From this vehicle class, you have created the class bus. Again, you have created the class truck from this vehicle class. And again, you have created another class from this vehicle class, that is class car, and which will maintain the hierarchy. That's why it is called as hierarchical inheritance. All the common features of bus, truck, and car we need to add into the vehicle class, and these common features will be inherited into the bus class, truck class, and car class. Take another example. This is the class shape. From this shape class, you have created the class rectangle. From this shape class, you have created the class rectangle. Again, you have created the class. Again, you have created the class circle. From the shape, you have created the rectangle, triangle, and circle. And all the common features of rectangle, triangle, circle you need to add into the shape class, and that features will be derived in the rectangle, triangle, and circle, and which will maintain the hierarchy. In this, there is only one superclass, and there are many subclasses. That's why it is called as hierarchical inheritance. Now you can easily understand what is meant by hierarchical inheritance. This is another example of hierarchical inheritance. This is the vehicle class. Then from this vehicle we have created two classes, light motor and heavy motor. From the light motor we have created the gear motor and non-gear motor. And from this heavy motor class we have created the passenger and goods. So this is the another example of hierarchical inheritance. The hierarchy. Now, what is the syntax of the hierarchical inheritance? You can understand. You can get the syntax by looking at the diagram. How to write the syntax. So this is our parent class name. This is the common properties and methods. And from this you have created the another class, derived class 1. Visibility mode and parent class name. This also will have common properties and methods, and this is the class derived 2, and you have created this class from parent class. Then you will have class n from the parent class. This derived class you have created from the parent. This is the derived class 2 you have created from the parent, and this is so on. And this is the derived class n you have created from the parent class. And there is only one super class for all these classes which will satisfy our hierarchical inheritance. So it is the hierarchical inheritance, and this is the syntax for the hierarchical inheritance. Now I am going to demonstrate the code so that you will get the idea how to write the program for hierarchical inheritance. This is our hierarchical inheritance, and this is the code for hierarchical inheritance. Just see the code. So in this we have three classes: person, student, and employee. And this is the super class person. From this person we have derived the class student, and from this person we have derived the class employee. So one base class and many subclasses, and which will satisfy the hierarchical inheritance concept. So this is how you can achieve hierarchical inheritance in C++ programming language. Now just see the code present in each class. So this is our class person, which will have name, gender, age, and get data will take this name, age, gender, and then display will be used to display the name, age, and gender. I have just used this flush method. This will clear the input string stdin, and this is the getTest method to get the string as input from the user. So this is the code present in the class person. Now we have created the student class from the person. Class student colon public person. And this is the way to do the inheritance. Class student colon public person. In this there is institute and level. So again, data and display. Again, it will take the get data and it will get the institute name, and it will display the whatever you entered. Now this is our employee, which will have two variables, company and salary. And in the get data, it will take the data from the user and then it will display the whatever contents you entered. And just see in the main, we have created the student S and employee A. We have taken the student data here, and then we have created the object employee to get the employee data, and which will display, and at the end display will display the data. And this is the output of the code. Enter student data. First of all, you need to enter the student name. Here it is Sachin, age suppose 34, gender male, name of the college ADCT, whatever is SY, name of the student is Sachin, age 34, gender male, college ADCT, and level S1. Next, it will ask for the employee data. It will ask you for the employee data. Enter the name. Suppose Virat is suppose 32, gender male, name of the company, country suppose, and then it will display this employee data, that is name, age, gender, name of the company, and salary. So this is how, with the help of hierarchical inheritance, the common feature you are inherited into the subclass, you are used already present methods and variables, and then you have completed your problem statement as per the requirement. So this is how you can achieve the inheritance, hierarchical inheritance in C++ programming language. First of all, you need to clear the idea how to do the inheritance, and then understand. Once you look at the code, you should have a visual representation of all these classes in your mind, so that you will get the idea what type of this inheritance is. So from the person you have created the student, this is the single inheritance, and again from this person you have created the employee, means there is more than one superclass and more than one is subclasses. That is nothing but the hierarchical inheritance. That is nothing but the hierarchical inheritance. So this is how you can achieve hierarchical inheritance. Continuing with we have seen the demonstration, and these are the different types of inheritance we have seen in this unit number 3. So this is our first inheritance type, single inheritance. These images I have taken from the internet. This is our class A. It is called as superclass, it is called as base class, it is called as parent class. Whereas this B is derived from the A, it is called as subclass, derived class, it is also called as child class. So by looking at this diagram, you can understand this is the single inheritance. Then this is the multiple inheritance. Class A and class B is used to create the class C. And this is the hierarchical inheritance. This is our class A, class B, class C, and D is created from the class A. Just see the difference between multiple inheritance and hierarchical inheritance. In multiple inheritance, you will have multiple base classes. In hierarchical, you have only one base class. Next, multi-level integers. By looking at this diagram, you will have multi-level integers. That's why the name they have given the multi-level integers. And this is the hybrid integers. Class A, you have created from class A, B, and C, and as B and D, and from B and D you have created the class C. This is called as hybrid integers. And here we have completed all the types of integers present in C++ programming language.